This is my first time. Even my account was shocked. $500,000 when you're 24 years old after earning like 30K. It's ridiculous.
Meet Jack, Regional Director of Pulse East Africa. He starts hustling while at campus, and the first venture he gets into is selling booze.
So as I'm learning, as I'm doing my schooling in the evening, during the day I'm selling booze.
His journey to becoming the Regional Director of Pulse East Africa is back and forth, driven by his pursuit for challenge, his pursuit for growth, and his pursuit for excellence.
I picked a lot of things as a citizen from Pulse. I used to like what Pulse do in terms of storytelling, how they were very innovative. I'd been to so many pitches where Pulse were pitching, and I used to love the Pulse was pitching. Like they would come with out-of-the-box ideas, like you can do this, and they were very impactful. Again, I keep on saying impact is something I'm really big on.
He talks about how relationships have influenced his finances, from making a co-investment with a girlfriend to even decisions today.
So I bought a fridge, bought a TV, bought a cooker, paid deposit for a house or an apartment at the time in Jamhuri. And then I remember I took my babe to Coastal for...
Babe seemed to be a big part of it. Hey guys, this is Barack from Financially Incorrect. I am here to say thank you so much for the 50K plus people who have subscribed to Financially Incorrect. We really do appreciate you. When we crossed 50K, we had a nice, small, intimate party at our offices, and we celebrated this milestone. I have convinced the powers that be that if we can get to 100K by December, we will throw a big party to celebrate with all of you guys. And now we have 3 different segments for you guys to watch. There's Financially Incorrect Business Edition, Financially Incorrect Uganda Edition, and Financially Incorrect, the regular Kenyan edition. So please do, if you like our content, subscribe. If we get to 100K by December, we will throw the biggest party in East Africa. So please do subscribe. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Financially Incorrect. I am Barack, I am your host. And we have another episode. Today is a Friday, so it's a personal story. By the time this episode is dropping, we have just had our sort of intimate thing that we're trying to do. Our first one with Val Real Estate, and we'll be talking about why Nairobi is Africa's underrated property investment gem. And so there are multiple things we're trying to do there. Essentially, if you really wanted to get into premium real estate as an investment, we were finding out all the solutions and all the tips, all the tricks, all the tips, all of that. So this is what I'd ask and request of you guys in the comments for whatever new things you guys want us to explore for these curated spaces that we want to create for you guys to learn, invest in more directly. Please do let us know. What are the spaces that you want to get into? Who do you want to hear from? We'll try and create more and more of you. And as we try and, I guess, create a better Financially Incorrect community and give you guys much better value. So before I get into the episode for today, let me just read a comment or two from Moses Kemi Barrow's episode, because that's the most recent episode that went out here. And so there's someone, Peter Kiragu, who says, been consuming lots of business content lately. That's how I stumbled upon this channel. Seek and you shall find. Starting my entrepreneurial journey. This was insightful. Mr. Majani says, a true OG in the space. This one could have gone for hours. Dude needs to do a CTA. Maybe we link him up with A-Star. Stephen Otieno says, an hour has never been this short. Is there like a part 2? Maybe we'll try and get a part 2 done. But thank you so much again for the support. I think we've now started getting like that subscriber video going up, so I don't need to say that because it's probably displayed by the time we're starting this. But today I have with me none other than Jack Owigar, who is the Regional Director East Africa of Pulse. Welcome to Financially Incorrect.
Hey Barack, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here. Excited.
Why are you talking so meekly? You were talking with so much. With so much.
The tone has changed. Let me ease in. Don't call me out like that. I began so well.
Like this is like another person altogether. Anyway,
put a mask on.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much, Barack. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you at all what's the word? Trepidatious about speaking about your money journey at all?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I think I'm a very open book. I think that's how I've gotten this far. Sometimes I'm too honest or too blunt. But anyway, it's worked in my favor up to now. So I have no issue.
No issues.
None whatsoever.
My first question for you is, what's your favorite day of the year?
Favorite day of the wow.
If you have one.
Favorite day of the year. Wow, that's a good question. To be honest, the day just before Christmas. For some reason, Christmas Eve is just that day when I think you almost reset. There's a sense of optimism. There's a sense of refreshment. Yeah, so me, that's the day I can, to be honest, pinpoint, and that's my favorite day of the year. Yeah. Right?
I'm a little surprised you didn't say your birthday.
That's the funniest thing about it. I really don't rank my birthday that highly. For me, it's just a normal day. It could be how I grew up. I think growing up, we never really celebrated birthdays in our family. So for me, it's just a normal day. Even up to now, when guys tell me it's birthday, it's your birthday, I'm like, oh, okay, cheers. For me, it's just a normal day.
Yeah.
I can't really say it's one of those days I look forward to. If anything, just reminds me I'm getting old and my time is getting less and less. Yeah, but not really. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I think I don't hold my.
Yeah. Are there dudes who look forward to their birthday though? That's very interesting. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe the people who look forward to the celebration more. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. When you look at my friends and whatnot,
Yeah.
half of them don't
Like,
remember.
what did you do for your birthday? They say if it has if
It has passed.
Yeah.
You still have to think what I did.
Yeah.
I literally have to think. I was taken out for dinner, which was pretty dope. But outside of that, it was a normal working day. I think it was on a Monday even. So just meetings, hella meetings, man.
And
yeah,
that's it.
I got a slack from my boss, so like, okay, cheers. That's about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing
I guess.
special, really.
I guess cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Pulse.
Okay.
And just the entire organization, because
Okay.
it seems like it spans across. At least, well, on this continent for sure, it's in many
it's quite
different
vast.
places. Yeah.
So Pulse, first of all, is a Swiss-owned company. So Swiss-owned company. So there's a Swiss media house called Ringier that's been here since the 19th century. So it's a family-owned business, domiciled in Switzerland, has roots in Switzerland, Germany, and such other countries. So within Ringier, there's what have the African subsidiaries. So you have Pulse Nigeria, which is the most famous of all the pulses. Then you have Pulse Ghana. Then you have Pulse Kenya. Then Pulse Uganda. So all these pulses, what they are known for are the house of entertainment and storytelling. Each market in its own right is autonomous in what it does, but there are certain things that are guidelines that we have all the same. So production, storytelling, media houses, whatnot, ad agencies, and spans that globe. So Nigeria is the largest team. It's the main hub of all our activities, followed by Ghana, then the East African markets. So that's Pulse in general how it works. We are one of the youthful oriented media houses that we have in Africa. We try to tell the story behind the story. We try to storytell in a very humorous but educative way in all the markets that we are in. But sometimes you may find whatever happens in Nigeria, Ghana, is not necessarily what happens in Kenya and Uganda. We're a bit different. Nuances are a bit different. So we try to do things that work within our own market.
Yeah.
So that's basically Pulse in a nutshell. If we're to delve deeper, let's say for instance, Pulse East Africa, we are a three-pronged company. So we're a media house. So the website, the social media platforms, they basically tell all the stories that you need to tell. Then at the other end, where now the revenue-generating arm of the business is production. So setups like such as this, a lot of video production, a lot of brand stories, a lot of documentaries. That's our bread and butter. Then the other arm is the ad agency. So we do a lot of creative strategy, we do a lot of influencer management, social media management. We're trying to touch or delve into event management. We also have something called the Pulse Influencer Awards, which will be 5 years this year in Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, then 4 years in Uganda. So that's basically it. But we all have the same kind of mission and vision to be the youthful platform in terms of communicating and educating the youth of Africa.
Yeah. I don't know if you have any like deep enough touch points with the other like Ghana, Nigeria markets. But I'm curious, what's based on the consumers, like what's the difference between the way Kenyans consume content vis-a-vis Ugandans, vis-a-vis Nigerians and Ghanaians?
Yeah. So for instance, first of all, you'd find that when it comes to Ugandans really like a lot. Ugandans and Kenyans are kind of similar. Let me put it that way. So you'd find that they like to consume content that is very in local dialect, or let's say Kiswahili and Baganda and stuff like that. When it comes to the Ghanaians are a bit more serious. So their content is a bit more hard-hitting, more research-oriented, very little humor, to be honest. And then now when it comes to the Nigerians, them it's all about the good life, soft life, viral vids, things that are happening that are cool and whatnot. So that's how we morphed. So initially the template was picked off Nigeria, where all we need to be humorous and whatnot. But we noticed that even within the East African market, there's a particular threshold or limit
For the
yeah, for the humor. They're like,
vibes.
okay, what else is there?
Okay.
Are you educating me? Am I getting any impact of this? So we kind of had to change strategy for Kenya specifically because when you look at terms of the interest categories that our audience wanted, so a lot around investments, around career, like entertainment was one of the last things that they cared about, to be honest. Yeah, that they could get if they wanted, but what they really wanted were things around investment, education, things that they could actually elevate themselves in their own personal being.
Okay.
And the same thing we are seeing it also in Uganda. They seem to be a lot more liquid. The 2 times I've been there, in a difference of 12 months, the change in the economy is ridiculous. From the type of cars, the types of phones, how guys are going out. So I feel it's almost like Kenya. I hope they don't bash me for saying this. But it's almost like Kenya in 2015, 2016. They're about.
I've having interviewed Ugandans for Financially Correct Uganda Edition.
Yeah.
They have said that.
Oh, really? Oh, that.
Yeah, so
Thank you for
I know at
verifying
least, I know at least 1 or 2 people who've said that.
I went in December 2023, and then I went back in September 2024. The difference was ridiculous. I was in a different country altogether. Yeah, guys were more liquid. Guys were even the type of cars were different. So I hear there's more money, and I think there's a lot more potential in that space. Even as compared to Kenya, and I keep on saying that all the time. Yeah.
What about the commercial spend? And this I'm curious about. One, Pulse's ability to survive in a heavily disrupted enterprise.
Yeah.
And then, what's the commercial spend again for in these different markets?
Yeah.
Do you find that corporates in Nigeria easier to convince, or Uganda or Rwanda supposed to, Ghana and Uganda supposed to Kenya?
So number one, yes. It's easier to convince one Nigerian client to spend on Pulse Nigeria. It's been there longer. It's one of the largest brands there in terms of media, in terms of ad agency. So for them, it's almost they walk in, they almost come out with a check. For Kenya, Ghana, a bit similar. We are not the largest of media houses or ad agencies. So we kind of have to do a lot more convincing, for lack of a better word, to get the cash in. For Uganda, the last 2 years have been a lot better. The first 2 years weren't as easy because there were new entities in the market, get to understand who you are. So even if you look at sale conversion or marketing funnel, they were heavily on the awareness side of it. So now they're getting into the conversion retention element bit of Pulse Uganda. So very many brands now are like, oh, now we know who you guys are. Oh, we know your work. Oh, now we want to come and do something with you guys. For Nigeria, you find that if they can easily go and pitch to Amazon and get a gig. They've done it before. They can easily pitch to Livescore International, get a gig. Us pitching to a normal local bank here, hey man, you have to jump hoops and whatnot, presentations. Kind of thing. We get that a lot.
How do you differentiate? Because I would assume you're categorized with the I don't want to name brands, but with
I know you say it's fair.
With the other guys.
It's to be honest, it's one of those things whereby we notice it's easier to, when somebody makes a fun out of you, instead of fighting that joke, you make fun of yourself, so you take the power back. So whenever we're in those kind of meetings, say, we do that, but on this other side, we also do other things. So we kind of brush it off like it's just one of those things that we do, but it's not the main thing.
Right.
And then now we showcase studies of things we've done in the past. And it's like, oh, you guys did this. Oh, you guys did this. Oh, wow, that's dope. Then we also but we can do the production. It doesn't have to sit on our page. We can whitelist it. You guys can sit on your page. It's on our page. It's still good enough.
Right.
But it's one of those things that are stuck with us. I'm not seeing it changing anytime soon, which is fine. But I think what we're trying to do is make our work speak for ourselves. And I mentioned earlier, we're also trying to shift how we do our content. So it's becoming the humor is still there, the entertainment is still there, but we want you to leave after watching a clip with something like, oh, I've learned something about investment, I've learned something about land, I've learned something about tech. At least you've come out with something.
Yeah.
When it comes to the other question you've asked around, let's say, purchasing power of clients, funnily enough, Kenya has the highest rate card of all the 4 markets. So you'd find it's Kenya, and then, funnily enough, Uganda, and then Nigeria, then Ghana.
Okay, that's interesting.
I know. Sometimes when they were reviewing rate cards, even the Nigerians are like, your rate card is high.
Yeah.
Like, we were double them. But I think it's just also how our markets are very different. Noting also the population they have in Nigeria is way higher than us.
Yeah.
So I think for them, maybe having a lower price point is a very good entry point for them. if we was to do my rate card comparison to other media houses here, we're one of the cheapest, which is the funniest thing. And we still have to sometimes even go lower just to be able to get the business into the office or into the company. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that insight about Pulse. I think I definitely have a better crystallized understanding of how you guys are operating. Now to your story.
Either.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Tell me, how did you grow up? Or where did you grow up?
Well, I was born. Am I mentioning my age?
If you want to, with
easy. No,
all the ID names and the sublocation, you can. Yeah.
So I was born in 1989, July 28th, in Nairobi Hospital. My folks used to live in Langata, Southlands Estate. I have very little memories of that because we moved in 1993. So I got my name because most guys know me as Jack, but my full name is Jackson, which I really don't like. So I just
really? Why not?
Jackson takes me back to primary school. Like when I call my teachers, Jackson, you come. I find it when my friends call me that they call me Jackson, they know they're pissing me off. I don't like it, but so why I'm called Jackson is because we are 6 kids. So 2 girls, 2 boys, girl boy.
Sorry, wait, what? 2 girls,
2 boys, girl boy.
Oh, you're giving the order.
The order.
Yes, I was like,
yeah. So that's the order they're having. Yeah.
Okay.
So the brother who I follow, or the 4th born, yes, is called Michael. So this is 1989. So you can think Thriller. Who's the biggest at the time? Michael Jackson. Hence the name. And they said, you know what? Because my dad asked my siblings, what should we call him?
Yeah.
And they already have a Michael. Let's call him a Jackson.
I see.
That's how I got my name.
Yeah.
But my full names are Jackson, Emmanuel, Onyango, Sabato, Maloa, Owigar.
Yeah.
Those are all my names.
You know, I'm also from Western.
You also you understand. You get.
I fully understand.
Those are the ones I
fully
know.
understand.
Yeah. So grew up until 1993 Southlands. Then we moved to Kilimani, Likoni Lane. So I was there from 1993 to 2007. So basically, from that young age, I was in Kilimani.
Okay.
Yeah. So I grew up there with my siblings. Went to St. George's Primary School. That was just a walking distance down the road. Did my KCP there. From there, I moved to one of the most interestingly famous schools for one of the weirdest reasons, Upper Hill. Because I think Upper Hill, we've had guys like Eugene Bugwa, who's been here. Yeah. Michael Tieno Wauzi, Sauti Soul.
Yeah, Sauti Soul's Upper Hill.
Votaris, all those guys are from my.
I think did Charisma go to Upper Hill?
I don't know. To be maybe behind me.
Is it Nairobi
Patch?
School?
What a Patch? Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to remember the musicians who've sat here because I think there's one other person who said.
Yeah, there's Amos and Josh.
Yeah.
Enos Olik. I was actually Enos Olik's drum captain. So some of the guys who I know who've been in that space. So from Upper Hill, did my thing. Then from there, I hope I'm not rushing.
No.
Okay, I did my thing, and then moved to Catholic University.
Okay,
where I did.
Now let me take you back there.
Fair enough.
Did you know what your folks did for work by the time you were living in Langata, Kilimani? What were they doing for work, and what was the money like in the house?
Fair. So my dad was an engineer by trade. So that was basically what he studied and did. But he's also somebody who loves education a lot. So he worked for the Ministry of Education, something called the Kenya Institute of Education, so KIE. So you remember at that time when most of us are growing up, most books used to come from KIE on Thika Road. So that's where he used to work as one of the directors. My mom was a HR manager, and she used to work at the University of Nairobi. So two very strict people and very, very religious as well. So in that particular scenario, I think my dad was more, how do I put it, flamboyant with money. He liked the good life, to put it lightly. My mom was a lot more conservative with it. I learned a lot of my money habits through my mom. Also, I spent more time with my mom. My dad was the typical traditional African male. Yake nilikuwa ile tunapatana end of the term for the report card. And that's when you now have a proper conversation with him. Right. But my mom was more of a daily occurrence. So I saw how she used to save her money, budget it, how she prioritize it for things in the house. So I think even when I look back at how I do my things, I learned a lot or picked a lot from her compared to my dad. And that's how I learned a lot of my traits and habits even moving forward. Okay. Yeah, so my mom was a HR manager, my dad was an engineer, but also a lot of education stuff. So all through my life, that's what I knew they did. Yeah. And then what them was getting into high school campus. My dad retired because I think he reached that age of retire. My mom retired a few years later. And then my dad opened up his own businesses around now selling spare parts, and because that's what his passion point was. And then my mom began a business about selling books as well. So again, but also my mom was also she used the facilities that were given to her under UN to better herself.
Right.
So she took loans and bought land, bought houses. My dad did the same thing. My mom did it in a grander scale. She was just more strategic, thought through a little bit more. Up to today, those things still give her cash.
Yeah.
So she has different houses around, and
Yeah, I'm curious about a couple of things. One, what's your first conscious memory of understanding that money makes the world go round?
Let me see. So there's a time I remember, and I hope it doesn't sound off. When I was in primary school, I remember I really wanted a bicycle. Like I remember asking, I wanted a bicycle. Everybody around me had a bicycle and everything and such things. And I was seeing that the guys who had bicycle had the babes. But now, and then I didn't have a bicycle, and I wanted a bicycle to get the babes.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, by the way, having money is a good thing. Because I remember going back to my mom and trying to pitch and telling her, by the way, go there and tell her this is the objective, strategy, approach. Anyway, Lali, I'm asking you, part of your bike. But it just showed me, basically with money, you can get a lot more things done. Like there was a lot more respect given to you by your own peers in school. And that's why I learned, having money in that form at that time made things happen for you and made things work for you. So that's around, I think, class 5, class 6.
Okay.
When I
become conscious about it.
So just to touch on that point. So what I decided to do, and maybe this also we will delve deep, is when I began learning. Okay, if she can't help me with this, I'll do it myself. So at that time, those ladies used to come and buy newspapers from the houses in the estates. And they used to buy tires and they used to buy bottles. So what I used to do, I used to store them in my room, the gazettes, and then when they come, I used to sell them. So my plan was, at that time, I think a bike was 8K. So my plan was, if I can save enough, I can actually buy this bike. So I never got the bike. I never got the 8K. I think I got to about 1,000. But I was like, you know what? It's never that serious.
It's taking too long.
But it began, one, my entrepreneurial mindset. And number two, also, I like to get things done by myself. If I see it's not going to happen like this, I don't like to rely on other people. And that's something also I learned from my folks. It's a good or bad thing to say, but I'd rather be dependent on myself to get things done or on somebody else, because the chance of them disappointing me are higher, or their goal shifts, which is fair because it's allowed. Their goal may not be my goal. So sometimes I also have a bit of control for me to be able to achieve what I need to achieve.
Okay. The second thing I wanted to ask was, and this I'm asking based on the story you've said, because you said by the time you're getting to, I think, leaving high school, getting to university, your dad is retiring. So I would assume that your parents are a little on the older side.
Remember, I'm the last born of 6.
Of 6.
I'm the last born of 6.
So I'm curious, as a person who has older parents, my parents were, the difference between my parents and me is 31 years. So now is when they are retiring, so to speak.
Wow.
So I'm wondering, as a child of an older parent, do you ever go through moments of this person may stop working and may not get money, and I may not go through the same education that my siblings got? Or is that ever a concern in your mind, thinking about how your parents, especially at that time, at the tail end of their careers, vis-a-vis money, and now what your requirements are?
No, fair. It was definitely a fear in the back of your mind. I can't say it was I was as evolved mentally to realize what was happening at that time in terms of, let's say, for instance, if I get to campus, they may not afford fees or whatnot. But also, I think I have to give props to my folks, because I remember, as I said, I was the 6th of 6. So you might find the first 2 at that time already working. The first 3 actually already working. So what they were able to do, even when my dad was retiring, my mom was just about to retire, they still had investments, yes. And the first 3 were able to chip in and support. Now, the only difference maybe I had compared to the first 4 or 5 of my siblings was the certain luxuries, as I say, like the bicycle and whatnot, I never got to enjoy. But they got to enjoy. A lot of my clothes were hand-me-downs. There was no need for them to buy clothes, and I have older siblings. So for me to get anything new I think I had to be first or second year of campus. Is when I started experiencing like new stuff in my closet and whatnot. Because a lot of my stuff was my brother's had grown this shoe, where Shika. My brother got this top, where Shika. Yeah, so it was very rare that certain luxuries I got as a first-hand user.
Yeah.
Me as a second-hand going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the next question for me on this is around what you talked about, the difference in investment that you saw between your mom and your dad.
Yeah.
And you saying and acknowledging that your mom did it at a much larger scale that you noticed and could witness it. Did that, or has that in any way impacted the way you think about what your investment journey is going to look like vis-a-vis having a wife? Is it an expectation that you would have of her?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
It's a very contentious question. A very good question.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me answer your question. Yes. So, unfortunately, we always told you marry your mothers or something of the sort. Yeah. So, from how I grew up, our guys always say the first love for a girl is the dad.
Yeah.
So, the same thing for a dude. The first love is your mother. So, you also want, or in your mindset, you also want a partner has the same nuances as your mother. But that is also a bit unfair because they are not raised the same. The conditions are not the same. And I'm learning that as we go along, Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
Because even her, she has her own way of going about her things. So you'd find that, for instance, I'm grateful for what my mom taught me, because even for me, I want to be self-aware about the investments. And I think that whatever she brings, the partner to be or the wife, she has her own learnings as well. And I'm sure we can complement off each other. I think sometimes even when it comes to partnership relationships, one of the biggest breaking points is money, finances. If there is no common ground or compromise or stuff like that. So for me, yes, there was that element where I expected her to behave like my mom, whereby, for instance, engaging Nima to save. But also I need to understand, because my mom at that time was raising 6 kids. And then at the same time, black tax, which is very different. In this day and age, it's not the same. I think guys are a bit more liquid. Also, I think there are a lot more luxuries in the life. My mom and my dad never traveled for holiday. How could travel kwenda Ocha? That was the traveling. My mom traveled more for work. I think that's where, in fact, it's these days when she starts saying, I want to go to Uganda, or I want to go now for proper leisure. But see, now, in our day and age, your partners expect, a Dubai, an SA.
Yeah.
So it's a bit different. And you have that mindset, but my mom never wanted a holiday. My mom was here saving money and buying land and shakis and whatnot. So I'm also trying to adapt and evolve to that. And be more conscious of what other people bring to the table, my partner brings to the table, so at least we complement off each other. But I'm grateful for what the discipline my mom taught me, because I try not to be reckless when it comes to money. I try to be more, I'm really fearful of, let's say, being past 60 or 70 and you're asking people to send you money. Because they say, like, for men, the older you get, you're like a lion, your drive in life shukas, your place in life shukas. So you almost start entering into this element whereby you lose yourself if you have no purpose anymore. And that's what they always say, widowers never last, but widows do, because they have a sense of community. So that's a thing I want to see, whereby I don't want to have a scenario whereby I'm older, I have nothing to show for it. So I want to invest. So at least when I'm old, I'm enjoying my investment, the fruits, or my labor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue. So you get to university.
Yeah.
What's deciding or what's dictating what you choose to study?
Yes. So again, I'll take it back to being the sixth of six. So my older sister or the sister who I follow is the most famous of all our sisters.
The most famous.
Most famous. Shout out to Judy Owigar. So I don't know if many guys know Akira Chicks, but Akira Chicks is a tech startup that began, I think, in 2011, 12. So she did computer science at UN. So I don't know if you remember when Obama came, the first time Obama came as president, and he sat with Uhuru at a stage.
Yes.
The baby in between. That was my sister. Yeah. So as I say, she's the most famous of it. That's because when you go to my folks' house, that's the thing you see. Is the rest of us, we are not important. Then the rest of us. Because her pictures, they are in the center, the biggest thing is in the end. Then it's us. So anyway, she did computer science. So I followed her, and I was trying to determine what I wanted to do. And because when she was doing her project, I was there. So I was seeing what she was doing. And I was very curious. I was very, computer, and so, but they actually can do this thing as a career. So I just, out of the whim, I didn't do law, to be honest. For whatever, I used to like Veja Makamani. So I used to find it so interesting. I'm like, I can be a lawyer and whatnot. But then she swayed me and I did computer science at Katho, or Koya, as most guys know it. And that's basically how I picked my course. I won't even lie. There was no rocket science.
Interestingly,
it was just peer pressure.
Interestingly, I don't know if we've had, have we had someone from Katho University on the podcast who has openly talked about it and the culture? We've had a lot of USIU, a lot of university. So I'm curious.
Why are you discriminating on Katho?
No, I'm sure we've had. It's just someone probably that just haven't said. So I'm curious. What's the money culture like at Catholic University? Yeah.
It's not like USIU for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think Katho, I think for me, it's almost like an in-between. It's not extreme. And it's not, guys don't have chums. It's just, you're okay. It was not a flashy university. It was just, let me call it, I hope they don't bash me again, a high-end UN. You know I'm going to say that?
I understand.
That's the best pitch I can give. It's a high-end UN.
Yeah.
But yeah, because everybody was not at university. But guys were
so you'd see people driving and flashy cars and
exactly.
Also, and there's quite a trek. That trek for Katho, that
Bogani.
Yeah, that road is not a short walk.
Let me tell you, that up and down, it was something. But that's where relationships were built in Katho. Guys there made up, broke up. A lot of things happened in that stretch.
Yeah.
But yeah, Katho was, I think I had my best education experience in Katho.
Okay.
In fact, no, they say, where would you go back to high school? You go back to primary school? Nah, I'm going to go back to campus.
Okay.
I think
what made it so good for you?
Because I think that's the first time I was ever really independent. The first time I was given money to go to budget for yourself. It's open-ended. You know how people say open world? When you're playing a video game. It was like that. Like you had money, you can decide whether they're going to buy food, going to buy drinks. Whether they're going to take a girl out, it is up to you. It's your choice. Then in high school, if you're in boarding like I was, you're working with that particular perimeter. There's not so much you can do.
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, but in campus, it was ridiculous how much you can do.
Yeah.
So for me, it taught me a lot about myself, about who I was as a person, about the friends I picked.
What was your monthly sort of budget when you were
4Gs, to be honest.
4Gs.
4Gs.
You were living on 4Gs, including dates.
Yeah, including dates, man.
Hey.
I was very innovative.
Yeah.
I was very innovative.
So,
but also, I think what saved me cash was when I joined, and it was a good thing. But sometimes I think in hindsight, I didn't maximize my campus years because immediately I got to first year, second sem, because we used to do 2 sems. I got a babe. So that also, when dating is not cheap, but you have one babe, it's a bit easier. You can
as
save,
opposed to
multiple. Yeah. So for first year, second sem to fourth year, first sem, we were dating. Yeah, so that's
fourth year, first sem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the days I say by the way, how many in my shaka?
Do you know what's actually interesting about what you've said? I read a tweet yesterday of some chick who said, "I can't believe I had been dating for the last, I think it was 8 years or 9 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically from first year to 3 years ago." And she was like, I'll find that tweet and I'll put it here. And basically she was saying, I have wasted my youth. No, I dated from my early 20s to early 30s. Dated one guy and I can't believe we have now broken up. I have wasted everything.
In hindsight, I asked myself, and then that babe was, I could have hit on that babe. So you think back at you I wasted my time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I say these things, they happen for a reason. And right now, they wouldn't make sense. But now when I'm a bit older, I'm actually I saved a lot more chums. Because I saw my pals who had multiple babes. It was chaotic.
Yeah, so, you'd have deep pockets.
Yeah, really massive deep pockets. So imagine going out. There's time, from Bogani, Rongai to Westlands, undecided, and then back. Yeah, fam. Something else. Something else.
Okay. So that's sort of what uni life is like, right?
It was,
what happens when you leave uni and how do you begin to make money immediately you leave uni?
Okay, fair. So again, leave uni, computer science degree. So At that time, I wanted to code, or I thought I wanted to code. To be honest, as I said, I picked this degree out of peer pressure. So I can't say that I had passion for it. I like computers, I like that element around, but I didn't like coding. So most of the interviews I was going for were heavily around coding. And I found myself I was getting bored. Like even in the interviews, I was walking out kati. Like, you're there in the waiting room. You're just like, by the way, I really don't want to do this gig. Then I remember my dad got me a gig to work for one of his pals. Also, this is, I think, the first time I'd ever gone against the will of my dad. So he got me a gig, and I went there day one. So day one, I'm sat there, I'm just in the kitchen, trying to understand what my role is in this office. Then I asked the Mdosis, what am I meant to be doing? He's like, you just figure out something to do. So I go to the tea lady, she gives me like tea and bread, I'm chilling there, then she gives me a laptop to play around with. And I'm telling myself, this is not the life I want to live. It's not interesting. So that's like day one of the job. Day two, I go. Day three, I don't go. Day four, I don't go. So my dad comes and asks me, why are you not going for this job? I told him that job is crap. I'm not going back there. My job is like how grateful this son of his is. But I told him, by the way, it's not what I want to do. And that's the first time I started speaking up for myself. Even as I say, that's it's a part I think in some people's lives it's like you break to the next level. Because I never used to go against my dad. I never speak up against him. So it's the first time I actually told him, by the way, fam, this thing is not for me. Let me sit it out. Let me get this job for myself. So I called my bro, the other half of Michael Jackson, and I asked him how. So he was doing CIM at the time. And he told me, no, this is like 2011, 2012. He tells me there's something coming up. It's called digital marketing. It's very, very new. And I would advise you to hop on this thing right now. So you already have the basics of computer science. So the technical side of this thing you already have. Just add the marketing side. So he tells me to sign up for Marketing Society of Kenya, some classes they should do in Tao. So I begin doing that kind of diploma around marketing. So this now I learn about marketing strategy, I learn about pitching, I learn about all those things. So when I'm doing this, one of my pals who are with the campus, so I used to be in a dorm, so the room across, is working for a security company. So we were asking ourselves, okay, what kind of biashara can we do as we try and make this thing in life? We look around and we see guys want to buy drinks on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays, but in the office. So I tell him, what if you open a Facebook page whereby we can sell booze on the Facebook page? You, wherever you're sitting in the office, you're coordinating, and then me, who's now free, I'm walking around. So I told you, number one, this will help me my digital skills, and number one, my marketing skills. So as I'm learning, as I'm doing my schooling in the evening, during the day, I'm selling booze. So we had a friend of ours who had a company, or the family company used to sell booze in town. So I go to him, I discuss for a discounted rate. So at that time, a Jamie 1 liter was going for 2,600. So I have a convo telling them I'll buy them at 2 Gs. And then on Facebook, I'll resell them at 2-3. And then we used to have offers on Thursday and Friday, whereby you could buy a Jamie at 2,200. So I would walk around town with a bag full of booze. So I would leave. That time we had moved.
Just distribute.
Yeah, so my time we had moved from Kilimani to South B. So out there, Balozi. So I would wake up in the morning with a bag, a duffel bag, go to town, put boaties, and then I'll wait to be told where to go and deliver them. So that's how I began now learning how to do biashara and get business. Not in that time, there was no Uber Eats or Daila Chupa or Daila Delivery. So I was basically it. So we had called the company Seller Inc. So the reason why it's Seller, because a seller is where you keep booze. So Seller Inc. So in that line, that's where now I started learning the art of, let's say basically, I was very introverted. So learning the art of how to speak to people, how to pitch, how to convince people to purchase, also building relationships, because we had a lot of return customers. And sometimes I keep on telling, even right now where I work, I keep telling guys, yes, we buy the product, but they'll buy you first. If they like you, chances of them returning are a lot higher as opposed to the product. So we buy people first. So whenever I used to go to this certain clientele, I used to try and have a relationship with them, find a common ground, chat a bit, talk. And this next time when they want to buy a boot, like, there's this funny guy or this chill guy, let me just call him up and bring stuff. So that's how I left campus and began kind of a working life. Before I entered into proper formal employment, which are interlinked. So in that, and I hope you don't mind me going to that story.
No, please do. Yeah.
So as I'm doing that Seller Inc. thing, and just basically every Thursday, Friday, I'm in Tahoe buying booze and selling it. One day my bro calls me. He tells me, hey, what's up? I'm in a marketing event, and there's a chap from Nation here who's looking for digital sales guys. So basically that time Nation was forming a digital department, and they wanted guys to sell their websites and social media platforms. So I'm texting you his email address and his number. He'll call you. When he calls you, just send your CV to him. I'm like, cheers. So I'm in the middle of my shughlis of selling botis, blah, blah, blah. I remember it was a Wednesday. Then I said, you know what, I'm kind of hungry. Let me go to Greenview. Shout out Greenview, one say. So shout out Greenview. So I was there. So some random number calls me. Then I hear a chuki voice. Hello, my name is this. I'm like, hey, these scammers these days have got a new level. He tells me, by the way, with your number from your brother. I'm like, this is the chap. Kindly send me your CV. I'm like, easy, bet. So I walk from Greenview to... used to be called what? Bagadome or Baga Inn.
Bagadome.
Yeah, it's Bagadome, where the cyber was.
Yeah.
So I walk there, and then I send my CVs, like Wednesday around 4, 5 p.m. Send my CV. Don't make much of it. 10 minutes later, the guy tells me, by the way, are you free on Friday? You come to Nation Center, we have a meeting. I'm like, hey, you sure? You're like, hey, come. Then in my head, I'm like, but no, Friday is the busiest period we have in terms of Seller Inc. That's when I'm doing most of my deliveries. And it used to start from midday to around 4 p.m. So he tells me, can we meet at 11:30?
Right before.
I'm like, hey, so I'm asking myself, okay, do I want to get formal employment? Do I want to endelea with this thing? Anyway, so I called the babe I'm dating at the time. We discussed. At the time, she actually already got on a gig. So we are discussing this thing. Tell me, you know what, just jaribu, you never know. So Friday comes in, I have my duffel bag. So now the debate at the time was, do I pick the drinks first and go with them to Nation Center? Or do I go to Nation Center and come back for the drinks?
Yeah.
I say, you know what, to be efficient, me get the drinks first.
And then you go.
Then I go to Nation Center. So when I go to Nation Center, that time there are no the barriers and whatnot. So I check in. So the guards are asking me, what's in the bag?
Yes.
I'm telling them it's product. Then they're saying cling, cling, cling. Anyway, they fungwa, they say it's booze. They look at me. They're like, Unenda, which floor? I'm like, 4th floor. I'm like, okay, so. Anyway, for whatever reason, they let me pass. I go there. I meet the chap. We have a very honest conversation. It lasts like 15 minutes. I can't even say it was an interview. It was more, you wanted to know who I was, what my passion points are, and stuff like that. And then he tells me, okay, follow me. So we walk up to...
And all this time you're walking around
with that duffel bag full of booze inside Nation Center. And then he tells me, follow me. We go to 5th floor. That's where now the human resource managers sit. I have no idea where I'm going. This is my first time in Nation Center. So I sit down in front of a lady. And then he tells this lady, this guy has come for this role. I want you to give him a contract. I don't even know the products. I don't even know anything. Then she's asking me questions around the product. Now in hindsight, I said everything that was wrong. I said the wrong product. I said the wrong rate cards. I said everything that was wrong. But for whatever reason, the two of them still decided to give me a contract. And then I think it's around January, February. So I began working at Nation in April 2012. I remember, April 2012, the first week of April 2012.
So what was the role?
So it was called a digital business executive. So General Nation has print business executive, TV and radio. So here you're basically a guy who goes out on freelance. Basically, you're a commission-based salesperson.
Full commission, no
retainer. The first 3 months, there's a retainer, I think of 30K. After 3 months are over, now you're on full commission. Whereas it's ujipange. We are done, now it's up to you. So the first 3 months, because they give you the time to learn the product. So now I'm getting this gig. I'm like, okay, do I leave this Seller Inc. thing, blah, blah, blah.
Is it more money than what you're making at the...
Yeah, for sure. Okay. It was way more money. So, but I thought I could do both of them at the same time. Okay. Funny enough, I made my colleagues at the time become my customers. Because now I would come with the books to the office. I'm like, instead of you guys going out, just buy from me. Yeah, it's just easier. So I was still selling them from there. But what became tougher was now doing the deliveries. Because now I'm constantly in the office or I'm moving out for sales meetings. So that's where I began. So I had to learn the products within Nation. So the website, the social media platforms, and learn how I could sell, the rate cards, the lingo, and now also how to approach clients and sell from there. Yeah. So that's basically how I began my journey into where I am today, into car sales. Yeah.
And when you're making this, I guess for these first 3 months, you're making this 30K. Yeah. What are you doing with your money at that point? Are you still at home? Are you still... Yeah. So I'm still at home, still with my folks, living in the SQ. So my other bro had moved out. So now I'm in the SQ, just have my 30K there. Really, to be honest, it was just my account. Remember, if someone was using maybe a K to 4K max in a month, if you have 30K, you're asking, what am I doing? So what would happen would I would help my mom with bills in the house.
So service charge, shopping, send money to maybe Relas, blah, blah, blah. But I can't really say. And maybe take my babe out on dates. But on average from the 30K, I think net would come 25. So maybe on average I'd be with 18K roughly every month on month for the first 3 months. So that man just used to sit there. And then at that time, man was a naive dude. I never used to know my ATM could swipe. And I've never was a naive dude. I never used to know.
Yeah.
So for me, it worked in my favor because now means I used to control how I spent money.
So you didn't use the card because you didn't know.
I didn't know I could swipe. I didn't know this. And you can actually do this thing and he just chomachum.
So you used to go to the ATM.
Yeah, chomachum. And that was it for me. I didn't know you could swipe. So and then, I think it was somewhere with my babe, and then she's telling me, why aren't you not swiping? You know what you mean swiping? Like your card can actually just swipe. I'm like, really?
Quisha.
That was the beginning of the end. The day I learned I could swipe, the power in my hands now became something else. Because now I became a bit reckless with chums. Because now I knew, how much do I have in my account? 40K. So I can swipe, I lose 6K. See, salary is coming anyway. So that's basically how it began. But I always told myself, there's a particular point, up to today I keep on saying, that I don't want my money to pass in my account. So I know I have a limit. Isipite, hapa. I never want to be at zero.
Or you never want to be at zero?
I never want to be at zero.
You've never hit zero? What's your lower limit?
I'm not at zero. If I see I'm carrying that in my head I have that number.
Yeah.
So whenever I get that number, I'm like...
And what's the reason behind it? Like this number, whether it's 50K, whether it's 60K, whatever it is, what's...
So one, I fear being broke. And number two is just, I always say an emergency could happen and I may need these tunes. It's just from what I've seen growing up with my folks and whatnot, I don't want that period whereby I'm rushing or depending on people. I think on depending on people is something I really don't like. So I keep on telling myself, okay, if I'm able to stop until here, even if I don't have money for the next 2 months, I'm kind of okay. So that's the thing I always tell myself. So at some point, I stop.
But why not put that in a separate account altogether?
There's that too. There's that too. Yeah.
So the separate emergency fund, but then even in your current account,
the emergency fund has an emergency fund.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's how I fear being broke.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about the transition from the 3-month retainer to now full commission. What's that transition like?
It's not easy. I think one of the things that saved me was that Nation is a bit of an easier product to sell. I think if it was given if it was a Pulse at that time, I would have struggled because it's not known in the market. Nation has a brand name, it's a legacy. So sometimes you knew that if you walk into a particular client's office and say I'm from Nation, Daily Nation or whatever it was, the chances of them listening to you are a lot higher or giving you cash is a lot higher. So the transition, so what I told myself was I knew in the next 3 months this thing is ending. So I told myself this first month of the retainer is learning this product. The next 2 is converting. So you have to convert sales. And then a trick I was taught was partner with more of the established salespeople or products. So for instance, digital was known as a minority product in the Nation. So partner with a print guy, partner with a TV guy. So whenever they're going to pitch for TV, if they're, let's selling something for 5M, if they give you 200K, for them it's nothing. It's additional value. Now the commission structure, because it's a smaller product in Nation, the commission structure was a lot better because the volumes are lower. So for instance, in print, if your target was 50 mic, you would earn at 1% because of cost volumes. But now at Nation, if let's say digital, if you sold to 50K, your commission was like, let's say 15%, 18%. So it's a lot more appealing. So imagine sometimes, I remember the time I went home with close to half a mic in commission. And at that time, I keep telling this story. This was my first time, even my account was shocked. After having like 10K, 18K, now one day just had 500K. So I remember what happened was, it was 2014 World Cup. I pitched to LG. So I pitched to them a certain campaign where they gave me, I think 1.5 M worth of business for 1 month. And they paid it upfront. So you have to go and then you do, at that time you do a form where you put all your sales together. So remember, I'm not only sold LG, maybe I sold 3 or 4 other accounts.
Right.
So I put them all together. And then now you take that form to your GM to sign.
For them to sign off.
And then they goes to finance. At that time, I think I was 24. So my GM is look at the amount, looking at me. Look at the amount, looking at me. He's like, are you sure? He told me, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I've done the math. He does the math. He's like, no, something is wrong. He goes to now what do you call traffic? So traffic is the one who records all the they record all their sales. They're like, yeah, it's what is computed is correct. It's like, no, fam, this money, this money will kill you. It's 2014. So he writes down a note, approved, then tells, but finance, please counter check. So finance goes counter check, like, yeah, no, this is correct. He's adding some amount of money. Anyway, that day the money checks into my account. Pop. Even me, I'm like, wait. So half a million when you're 24 years old after earning like 30K. It's ridiculous. So I that time I started thinking about not moving out.
Do you know what you did with the money?
I kind of know what I did with my money. So the first thing I did was I bought everything for my house. So I bought a fridge. Again, remember I told you things I learned from my mom, priorities. So I bought a fridge, bought a TV, bought a cooker, paid deposit for a house or an apartment at the time in Jamhuri. Then I remember I took my babe to Coastal. For
Babes seem to be a big part of it.
They determine a lot of things.
Babes are controlling things in your life.
Let me tell you.
Hey. These babes, they're going to finish.
They're going to
one way or another. But anyway,
So I take her out to Coastal. Did I buy her something? I don't remember I bought her something.
I'm sure you did.
I'm sure I did.
You don't even
I can't really remember. Yeah. I'm sure I did. But I remember we went to Coastal.
How long did it take for that money to get back to this lower limit in your account?
It took a while. I think it took almost, because this was around, remember I worked up around July. Yeah, so it took maybe the following year, Jan. Remember there's still money coming in from other sales.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like it was pretty good.
So in the first, because I know you spent quite a bit of time at Nation.
Yes.
And there's a middle stint at the between where you live.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe in those first 4 years, what would you say your average take home was? Like how much would you be taking home and what would you be doing with your money?
I think between average, maybe around 50 to 100 G's. Averagely in the first 4 years.
Okay.
So yeah, basically it was rent. At that time, to be honest, I used to be a party animal. So a lot of partying, going out, and I didn't buy a car then. I bought a car when I came back. I bought land again. So my partying was a bit of, as I still say, there's an element of me still being full of being broke. So I still used to try to invest. I bought her land.
You bought her land?
I bought her land.
You bought...
I don't know what I did. I bought her land.
Like her name on the land.
Yes, her name was in the title.
Nah, Amanda now.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I bought her land. I remember.
I mean, I have no problem with her going with it, of course. But I'm just saying that's you didn't buy yourself.
No, I bought myself land. They're next to each other.
You bought
they're next to each other.
To this day.
Yeah. Now what can I do? What can I do?
So funny.
What can I do?
That is so funny.
I remember I bought her land. Yeah, I bought her land. Yeah, anyway, I was like, hey, you have these chums. You know what I'm thinking? This is
you'll have to buy your wife.
This is the love of my life.
No, I'm saying now. When you get married, you have to buy your wife.
No, she knows this story. She knows this story. Every time she has a record.
Yeah.
She tells me, these things will fund.
You have to
times this.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I bought a land. So bought land. So about 150, 200 G's. Yeah, but heavily a lot of partying. To be honest, I can't really say there's anything mature I did with the chums. I think from buying land and some stock. That's about it. I can't really say anything else I did.
Where, if looking back now, where do you think, where do you get the idea to buy land from, and even stock? Where do you get? Is it from your folks? Is it from your elder? From your older?
From my babe. From my let me be honest. My baby from my sister. Let me be honest. My baby from my sister.
Yeah.
So my sister, at that time also, I was getting into buying land. So she got a company that was looking. So she at that time I was in Tao. So that company used to work just behind the office. So she told me, by the way, just go to this place and just check something I've and to confirm about this land. So when I got to the office, I'm seeing how much she's buying the land. It's like 90K. I'm like,
you can see it.
I'm living with my folks, like surely this thing can afford. So at that same time, I tell my babe, hey, by the way, I've seen an offer here. If you pay upfront, it's X amount of money. Then she's like, oh, you might don't have chums now, babe. And I'm like, don't worry, I got you. Your money's here.
Yeah.
It's tense. Anyway, so that's how I get into buying land. So I bought land with my sister and now with my babe, but we all have land in the same area.
Okay.
So that's how I got into buying land.
When do you set up your emergency fund, the separate one?
When did I set it up?
Yeah.
So again, taking it back, so I began when I first joined Nation. I remember the first time I told my mom, oh, by the way, this is how much I'll be earning. My mom told me the first thing, join a circle. save your money. That's the first time I began saving. So as much as 30K, just be putting around 200K candle. Then also at Nation, when you're signing your contract, there's a pension scheme, which they ask you, do you want to contribute, blah, blah, blah. So that's when I began learning all the art of saving. And they're very honest, tell you this is what I can help you with. If you resign, this is how much you get back. So I taught myself now to start moving some money aside for a rainy day. Because anything, again, could happen. You could lose your job, health, all those things. So that's when my journey, I didn't take it seriously in terms of the portions I was saving at the time.
But you were doing it.
But I was doing it, yeah. It's just, you want to save more for sherehe and your babe.
Yeah.
Compared to this other side.
I hear you.
But as older I've gotten, the more I began to save a lot more.
Okay.
Also, purchasing power has increased. So you can easily save a bit more.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then when we come to the break now, and you go to, I believe, Brighter Monday.
Yes.
Is it a money-driven decision?
No.
That you leave? Is it you're unhappy, or what's the thing?
So that's around 2014, October, November. Yeah. Funny enough, I've moved companies October, November all the time. Interestingly enough, so that time Nation was going through a particular change in the business in terms of how the strategy was working, which I didn't agree with. And Brighter Monday was one of the clients I was working with at that time. So when they were doing that shift, I remember we were having that conversation, and I'm within Nation, and I'm like, I don't agree with this shift, and I think this department will fall if we move this way in terms of the business.
Are you able to illuminate a little on what the shift was?
I think at that time, so basically digital by itself used to be a separate team. We were not under any other commercial entity. So Nation, there used to be the group advertising director. Now under him, there used to be print business, and then those are broken line to TV, who had what they call a commercial manager, and then the TV team. So what they wanted to do, they wanted to move the digital team under that team, under print and TV. Now the thing at that time was that it's hard for a print and TV guy to understand what digital is doing. They won't appreciate it. Even when you're dealing with them, for you, you're just a value add. You're like the backshish. So moving us there, also you remove our seat from the table of the decision makers in the company. So at that time, I wasn't agreeing with that move. But at that time, I was really, if you look at the ranks of the company, I was really uko chini. But I didn't agree with it. Funnily enough, that same time, Brighter Monday were looking for somebody who could commercialize or sell their platform. So when the opportunity came in, I said, okay, why not jump ship? Also, why I wanted to jump ship was, let me call it an ego pride thing. I wanted to see if I could sell a product that is not strong. Nation by itself Nation can sell itself. All I have to say is Nation. But Brighter Monday was just starting out. So I wanted to see, okay, how good am I at selling at my job exactly? So I was almost testing myself. If I can go to this brand and take it to the next level, then I'm actually good at my job. So that was what actually drove me to move to Brighter Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. In that
was
period.
it the same thing? Same structure, payment structure, same.
Different commission structure. The pay was a bit better, to be honest. I think I doubled my salary. Because I think that time, because when I moved from, so what happened, I jumped a step. So after the freelancing, because of how I was doing my job, what Nation does, if they see you're a very good freelancer, they move into what's called a permanent program, a permanent contract. So here, you get healthcare, you get a retainer, you get pension, blah, blah, blah. So I moved into that. I think I was earning 65K. And then when Brighter Monday came calling, I moved to around 120. And now commissions on top.
Okay.
And also I think. So then I moved to Brighter Monday. But I was only there for like 9 months.
Did you prove your hypothesis right? Were you good at your job?
I got a few deals, which made me feel as if I'm good at my job.
Yes.
And then I just felt that, again, same thing. There's a transition in the company, in leadership. I didn't agree with the leader who came in. Funnily enough, again, Nation were asking, can I come back? This is around August 2015. And it was just, somebody just called it as a joke. Hey, by the way, would you mind coming back? Well, actually, I wouldn't mind coming back. And I know that I'm also standard. There was a talk of me going to standard, but because I knew Nation better, I knew the structure a lot better. I was more comfortable with the Nation guys. It was easier for me to move back to Nation.
Okay.
So I moved back to Nation in October, November 2015.
Yeah.
Again, on a lower pay than what was at Brighter Monday.
Okay.
Yes.
But are they paying you more than what you
previously?
Were previously?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it was at between 90 or 80. I can't remember.
Because I've heard of this, of people who, I guess there's some people who move from make more money in salaried spaces by moving from
Yes.
you know
yes.
like from, from job to job and leveraging
yeah.
that. Okay, all right.
But what I did with Nation when I was coming back, and sometimes I look back at the younger me and I'm like, wow, I had balls, man. So what I told them was, you guys are making me earn less. So if you can match what I'm asking for, I want one good retainer account.
One good retainer account.
Yeah, so a retainer account is basically an account that always spends. Yeah, rain or shine, they will always spend. So I'm assured of commission.
Yeah, like one of the big five. Yeah.
So they gave me GE. And they came back.
Okay.
So that's what made me come back.
Yeah.
So handle GE for some time, and so I told them for me to get back into the rhythm of things, and acclimatize back into the structure that is Nation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the next big money thing that happens in this period?
In terms of purchase or in terms of...
No, just in terms of your progress, your journey in the thing. Because now you've talked about already establishing like a savings account. You're already establishing some sort of, you're making an investment in some circles. You've bought some land.
Bought my babe some land.
You bought you bought third party's land as well. And actually, I'm kidding. Maybe let me ask you a question. Based on where we started this interview, when you're talking to me about your mom and your dad and the difference in investment, is that something, looking back at your relationship experience, that has caused friction?
Yeah.
Where if the partner isn't
as nuanced in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has. As I said, so it's I can be stubborn on certain elements about finances. Up to now, I'm not very open sometimes around it. But also I'm very cautious of the spending habits. So there's some things they can say, and I'm like, that's a luxury. It's not.
What's an example you can give us that's not too...
Like now, sometimes like I can buy something like a couch.
Yeah.
For me, I'm okay with the couch I have. I don't see a need of purchasing the couch. But she'll come and tell me, no, we need a better couch because it'll bring the room together. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So this couch is just doing fine.
Yeah.
And like, no, now we need to do a roller carpet. I'm not what is a roller carpet, things like those. So there's certain purchases that, for me, I'm like, we already have this thing. Or I think, like now we're having an argument about a water dispenser.
Right now.
The one I have is white. So she's like, this white one doesn't go in the flow of the house.
Yeah.
So it has to be black. I'm like, but
It's
is
white.
it
It's
moving
working.
water? Yeah, like it's... So certain things for me is what I'm like. The other things we can use this money for,
Right.
That I think are more beneficial.
Yeah.
But as I say, there's certain things they see that maybe I don't see.
Yeah.
Maybe down the line I'll come to appreciate.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to kind of remove myself from who I am and be part of this that is us.
Okay.
So that's what usually causes friction a lot around those spaces.
Okay,
yeah.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. Also, another thing is that I've not been really pro holidays and road trips.
I mean, if your folks didn't take those trips,
Exactly,
you
yeah.
wouldn't be inclined to.
Yeah,
initially be
I don't
like,
see the need for them, but I think when you have somebody who sees the need for them and you're with them, you kind of have to adjust kidogo and compromise in certain things. Yeah.
Okay. Do you at any point in your career make a decisive decision around, I want to make more money?
Yeah. So I think at some point now, I think most of the time, funny enough, I've not really been driven by money. That's one of the weirdest things.
You've never been driven by money.
It's never been a thing. And though it's a good thing, sometimes I look back, even up to today, I still ask myself, is it a guy taking advantage of me because I'm not money hungry? Or is it, I'm not so sure, to be honest. Of course, I want the good life, I want good things, but I don't want to lose myself chasing a check. Sometimes people can be in bad roles because of the money, or you may do things because of money, and that's what I never want to get at. So for me, even when I move jobs or the jobs I do, I always ask, what's the impact? I'll be very honest, that's what I ask. And that's why when I moved from Nation to Brighter Monday and back to Nation, money wasn't really a factor. It was, is this thing going to be satisfactory to me, to what I want to do? But of course, now as the older you get and as you want to, as even people around you are elevating their lifestyles, you also want to get the same level. So at some point when now, I think around 2017, I want to buy a car. I want to move into a better house. You start thinking about now certain needs of a family start increasing. Like maybe now, let's say, now my both folks are not working. So things like healthcare, how you contribute as the children also comes to play. Can you invest a little bit more? Can you safeguard your future? That comes into play. So of course you need more money to be liquid. Yeah. So that's why I said, okay, now looking for how can I get more money, how can I make more money.
Yeah.
So I think that around 2017, 2018, I'm like, okay, I need to start making a bit more money.
Yeah.
And being more aggressive around how I get this money, but also being very conscious that I don't lose myself looking for this money. Yeah.
So what are the things you begin to do at that point? Is that what leads to your departure from Nation again, or?
No, that's not yet. But I begin now looking at, like now I and my bro begin looking at forming a company together. So doing things that can bring us more income or more like substitute the income that I get. So I move more into doing other things outside of my normal gig, just to supplement my income. And just enjoy life a bit more.
Yeah.
Because one thing I used to hate and I slept up today is like taking a loan to buy something. So for instance, if at Nation there was zero-rated loans when it comes to cars and stuff like that. So what used to happen is whenever they send the paycheck, you see how much is leaving to repay the loan for the car. So I used to tell myself I need to make that money back from something else.
So you ended up taking a zero-rated loan for your car?
Yeah, for my car from Nation, yeah.
And now that amount of money that you're paying every month, you're like, I need to make
it back something else.
Okay.
Yeah, so that I can get back to, as I said, there's a number I have in my head that I want to have.
Yeah.
So I'll do everything in my head, my mind to do to ensure I have that money back. So I started doing side gigs here and there just to supplement that. So that I don't feel that pinch that this money is leaving.
Right.
So, yeah, so it's almost like I try to trick my mind, like, oh, I'm still okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this extra chums is paying for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what
What's the least successful and most successful side gig thing that you embark on?
Least successful, let me see. Trying to think least successful. That didn't work out.
Yeah, that didn't work out. I guess you put money or hoped whatever, invested,
yes.
and it just didn't turn out.
There's a business I started with a pal of mine. It's a tech biz. We registered everything, but never got off the ground. Like I think we closed down after 2 months. No, after 2 years. Like we were just never meeting. We were never serious. He was meant to build apps and things like that. He's more of a dev. I was like, I'm more of the sales guy. I'll go and pitch it. But yeah, we just never. We just ended up closing up the account.
Yeah.
We put in the money to start it off, but we were just.
Do you remember how much it would have actually cost you to?
It didn't cost me more than 20 Gs, to be honest.
Yeah,
it didn't cost me 20 Gs. I think when I got back by 20 Gs, like it didn't cost me much.
Yeah.
That is one I'll say was the least successful.
Yeah.
The most successful, I think, is what I still do with my bro. So we still have an agency that we still run, but it's more around healthcare and stuff like that, and digital comes around that space. So whenever I can assist in some strategy and blah, 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 that's what I would call successful.
So the agency,
it's still there.
It
since 2018, still there.
Yeah.
So about now 7 years on, still going on, it's going strong. So for me, that's the most successful. Up to today.
And how much impact does that agency have on your income right now? So
it's on a case by case basis. The days it has a very major impact on what I can be able to take home. Other times there's nothing much I get from it because I'm not there day to day. So I'm only coming in on project-based activities, but whenever I'm part of it, it's a tidy sum. Yeah, it's a tidy sum. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, I guess, now you finally getting into I guess the role that you are in now. Yeah. What drives that shift?
So from Nation, 2018 again, October, November, I moved to Citizen around media services. Again, testing myself. Citizen was just trying to launch their digital department again and commercialize it. So my former boss leaves Nation and goes to, or my boss's boss leaves Nation, goes to Citizen, and then he comes for me and tells me, by the way, I like how you do things at Nation. Can you come and set up a structure here at Citizen? So I joined Citizen in 2018, if I'm not wrong. So I live in 2021. 2018, I think, yeah. And I begin doing the thing. Again, Citizen is it's a different ballgame from Nation, let's put it that way. It's a different environment, different culture. But I really enjoy my time at Citizen. Very cool guys, very, very, very down to earth. So again, I learned how to sell a product that is not seen as a premium product when it comes to digital. Then I learned to collaborate with other players. Same playbook I had at Nation, I use it at Citizen.
Are you making more money at Citizen than at Nation?
Yes, I'm now making 3 times more at Citizen. In fact, that Citizen story, and for that interview, I said a figure, just like, from there we'll negotiate. Then they're like, oh, okay, then they write it down. Then there's no negotiation, the interview is over there. So I go back to Nation, I'm chilling, then I'm told, come for your contract. So when I come to the contract, I see the amount that has been listed is what I said.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, should have said more.
Yeah.
And I tell the HR manager, can I negotiate again? Can I get more? But she's like, no, it's final.
Yeah.
But I'm earning good tunes there.
And it's still the same structure, retainer and commission.
Yeah, commission and commission. Okay. And I moved from Jammu to Lavi. That just shows you the change in amount of money. So I moved there. But again, at some point, as I'm a citizen, we get to a point where I feel they get to that level to where I left Nation. Now we're doing the same thing over and over. So I'm kind of getting bored. And remember, the citizen, I picked a lot of things the citizen from Pulse. I used to like what Pulse do in terms of storytelling, how they're very innovative. I'd been to so many pitches where Pulse were pitching. And I used to love the Pulse was pitching. Like they would come with out of the box ideas, like you can do this, and they were very impactful. Again, I keep on saying impact is something I'm really big on. So one day I'm very disillusioned at Citizen, and I tell myself, okay, do I really want to be here longer? And then someone calls me from Pulse and tells me, by the way, there's a gig opening up here for lead for sales. Would you be interested? I'm like, hey, why not? And I meet them, and also the element that it's Pan-African, so you get to work with other countries and people was also very appealing to me. I need to know how it feels to work with a Nigerian, a Ghanaian, just seeing how at the time it would be. And I had to test myself, can I really do this thing? So more than 2 months later, I transitioned from Citizen to Pulse, when I take over as head of sales for Kenya. So I come in, I look at the product that is there. At the time, I feel it's not the most viable in terms of selling. So I say, can we tweak it here and here with the content team? And we're able to build a few things that are commerciable for the sales team. So at least they have a bit of revenue coming in. I do that gig for maybe 2 years. At that time also, I'm helping the Uganda team set up. They had their own team and whatnot, but they used to sometimes reach out to us to see how we can assist. So I help them come up with their own structure and stuff like that. And then the MD at the time decides to transition to a new role within the company. And then the role for regional director opens up. And they ask, oh, by the way, would you be interested in taking up this gig? At the time, I was like 50-50. But then again, I told myself, when else will I get a chance to run such an organization and learn things like finance and learn things like these things that you need to run a business in this day and age. So this is around between August and October 2023. And that's when now I move into this new role, whereby now one, I'm handling Kenya, but also handling Uganda, a whole new country, a whole new market. So also trying to understand how can I make this country stable in Uganda, at the same time trying to make Kenya profitable. So that's the balance. Up to today that I'm still trying to maneuver. I think for Uganda, sustainable. For Kenya, trying to edge it to profitability.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have two final questions.
Yeah.
The first one is, as you're getting through these different transitions,
Yeah.
is your money also transitioning and changing equally to your role?
Funny enough, for Citizen and Pulse, not really. It was very similar, which I didn't mind because I didn't really change my lifestyle. I lived the same place, I drove the same car, but it was just, the construction even was different. But I just liked the work Pulse did. It was just out of pure passion. I liked the work Pulse did. I liked that we could do a lot more. We could play around a lot more. And then for the first time ever, I was no longer the bridesmaid. I was the bride. Because in these other companies, you're just always a supporting act. But at Pulse, if you guys don't sell, then basically your company can go down. So that also for me was like a challenge. If you don't sell, this thing basically closes down. So it was a very interesting outlook that I wanted to try and attempt. So at least I'm not playing with enough safe space in my career. Then I told myself, if it succeeds, it'll be a very good legacy for myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second question is, you have relatively straightforward sort of money journey and like an interesting story in that sense. Have you had any low points? What's been your lowest financial points?
So as I said, I was quite reckless in my younger time. So I've made some really silly financial decisions. So there's a time I remember my car got into an accident and I had to repair it. And then I think at the same time I bought a really faulty TV. And then I think I was just telling myself at the time that some of these financial decisions are all because of bad decisions. They're all booze induced. And I felt that if I'd been more responsible, I'd have a lot more of my money. Because I found that I was paying off so many things. Because I was paying off my car, then there's a car that I hit that I had to pay them now, all that thing. And I was telling myself, if I had been less reckless, I would have had a lot more money. And that's what began also, side note, my journey to sobriety. Like, I just told myself, by the way, what's all this booze for, and stuff like that. So for me, that is the only keynote that I can say is when I have really been reckless with my money. As I said, I'm very conservative how I use my money. So whenever I use my money in a very silly manner, I really beat myself up. And that time, I remember, I think how much I had to fork out 600K and above. And I was really not happy with myself. And I had to do it within 1-2 months.
600K.
Yeah, and above. So imagine how, just like, I would have done so much with that money.
Yeah.
And up to today, that thing still haunts me. Up to today. I never let myself forget that particular thing. So that for me has been my lowest point when it comes to money.
Okay.
Yeah.
But from I think that is a good lesson, and I'm curious. I want to ask this other one is from an earning perspective. You've never really been in a place where you have not been earning money or been unable to make money, so to speak.
Thankfully, no. No. And long may that continue.
Yeah,
long may that. Long may that continue. So I've been blessed in that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I look back and ask myself, how have I been so lucky that I've been not in a position where I have lacked really. I've only lacked because of my own silliness, but I've not lacked because maybe I've lost a job or something of the sort or things like that. I know there are certain periods within Nation when I never sold, and maybe a month or 2 months where you didn't have like your commission, but because you had sold months prior, you always had some. I had something. And because I always used to control my spending.
Yeah, we'll not go I
was a bit safe. I used to have a parliamentary meeting. Niko tu na punch kwa account. I'm like, how? Unadu. So but not to sound that ignorant or what. But I've been blessed up to now, and I hope long may that continue.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It will be very disappointing if in my later life I have nothing to show for it. Yeah, because the guys who've had a lot worse, and if they look back, they're doing a lot better now. Yeah. So I'm very conscious of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jack. Or Jackson. Thanks, Jack. Thanks for the story. Thanks for the vulnerability and the honesty.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Please do. If you have more questions for Jack, please put them in the comment section or in the reels or whatever the case is. We'll get them to him. We'll see if he can answer them. But thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week on the next episode of Financially Incorrect.